Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Darcenovia here, back once again to review more Expanded Universe content. This time, I'm reviewing 3 issues, two of which is part of a short story arc, and another is a one-off issue. The first story I'm going to be talking about is General Skywalker, which introduces, a character, who served in the Clone Wars, who has been stranded, on a world for 20 years. And yeah, I this was published, I would assume, you know, sometime after Revenge of the Sith or sometime before Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, I say before considering, the way the stormtrooper armor looked, you didn't have like any of the clone armor from like the later parts of the Clone Wars. So yeah. Anyway, this particular comic, you know, I do like that the fact that we actually get some connections between the original trilogy era and the Clone Wars, which this is the thing I really do love about this, this comic series. Not only does it give us, focus on, other characters besides the OT, I like the connections between the original trilogy and the prequels because if I had to be honest with you, the EU barely connected with the prequels, until like after Revenge of the Sith. And to me, I appreciate that because I like it to feel like that the original trilogy and the prequels happened in the same world. Considering that the original trilogy came out long before the prequels did, I do love, events from the prequels being mentioned in original trilogy era stories. As for the art, well, I think the art in this particular comic, as always, this has been a consistent thing in this series of comics, is pretty good. The art, I think, it's pretty much a short read. You'll get through this like, depending on how fast you could read, you could get through this like 10 minutes or 15 minutes at most for this story arc. It was a pretty enjoyable read. If you are a fan of the prequels, and like myself, and you just want to, see some connections between the original trilogy and the prequels, this is a story I'd check out. It's a standalone story. You don't need to read anything else in this comic series in order to, understand what's going on. It's a short little story. It's pretty good. Um, Now, the follow up story, Model Officer, which I think it's the superior story, if I have to be honest. It's a very short story. In my opinion, this could have easily had been like a 2 or 3 issue arc. Because easily. But considering how, you know, the premise of the story, I consider it great. Model Officer is essentially that, a model officer. Vader is not pleased, that his commands aren't being met because he wants rebels taken alive and they're being constantly getting killed. And before I talk about the art, I might as well just show you the art. The art in this particular comic, I think, is great, as always. And at the end, you know, the model officer is not who you think is the model officer. I won't spoil it, but I really did enjoy, the twist at the end. And this is a story you can read on its own, which, again, this is something that I appreciate this series doing. Yes, to be honest, I've enjoyed most of this comic series, actually. I really have. And there isn't much more I can say about these 3 comics I reviewed. I think they're really good. I recommend you check them out. And next time, I'm going to be reviewing possibly the comic I've been looking forward to reading and reviewing since I reviewed the Battle of Jabim. The story arc that's essentially a sequel to what is considered by expanded universe fans one of the best Star Wars comics of all time, the the Shadows of Their Fathers, which is a story arc that I'm hyped. I am so excited. I cannot wait to review it. See you guys next time, and remember, stay safe.